The night it happened, the snow had not yet fallen, but the cold had already crept into people's bones and hearts. The kind of cold that makes streets quieter, windows foggy, and loneliness louder than ever. It was one of those December evenings when Christmas lights blink without warmth, when joy feels rehearsed, and when the people who have no one feel the absence of love like a physical ache. That was the night a small, innocent question changed several lives forever. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of compassion, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep stories like this alive. Mark had not planned to stop that evening. He was a widowed father himself, carrying his own grief like a carefully folded letter he never opened in public. His wife had passed 3 years earlier, leaving behind silence in the house and a little girl who grew up faster than she should have. Christmas had become something he endured rather than celebrated. He did his best for his daughter, decorating the tree, buying gifts, forcing smiles. But inside he was exhausted in a way sleep could not fix. They were leaving a small grocery store when his daughter tugged his coat sleeve. Her eyes were fixed on the bench near the bus stop, half hidden under a flickering streetlight. Sitting there was a woman most people pretended not to see. She was obese, wrapped in an old coat that looked too thin for winter, her face red from cold and shame, her hands trembling as she clutched a worn handbag like it was the last proof she mattered. Her hair was unwashed, pulled back carelessly, and her eyes stared at nothing, as if the world had already decided she no longer belonged to it. Mark noticed her the way people often do, with a brief glance and a quick look away. He assumed the same story everyone assumed. Poor choices, laziness, someone else's responsibility. He tightened his grip on his daughter's hand, ready to walk past. But children see differently. They notice what adults train themselves to ignore. His daughter felt something twist inside her chest. She did not see weight or poverty or social labels. She saw sadness. She saw someone alone during the season that hurt the most. In her small mind, Christmas was about bringing people home, about warmth and food, and not being scared in the dark. And so, with a voice filled with concern rather than judgment, she asked the question that made Mark stop walking. The question embarrassed him at first. He looked around, worried about what others might think. Bringing a stranger home felt dangerous, unrealistic, irresponsible. He told himself all the reasons it could not happen, but then he looked at his daughter's face. It held no fear, no hesitation, only a deep certainty that leaving this woman behind would be wrong. The widow's name was Eleanor, though no one had used it in a long time. She had once been a school librarian, the kind who remembered children's favorite books and slipped encouraging notes between pages. She had been married for 32 years to a quiet man who fixed radios and kissed her forehead every night. When he died suddenly from a heart attack, the world collapsed in ways she never anticipated. Grief swallowed her appetite for life. She ate to numb the pain, stopped caring for herself, stopped returning calls, stopped showing up. Eventually, she lost her job, then her apartment. Friends drifted away, unsure how to help, or unwilling to watch her fall apart. By the time Mark and his daughter noticed her, Eleanor had learned to make herself invisible. She expected cruelty or indifference, not kindness. When Mark approached her, offering a hot drink and asking if she was okay, she stiffened, ready to be humiliated or chased away. Years of rejection had trained her to expect the worst. Mark struggled with himself in that. He was not a hero. He was tired, scared, and unsure. But something inside him softened. Maybe it was seeing his own loneliness reflected in Eleanor's eyes. Maybe it was remembering how strangers had helped him after his wife's funeral, bringing casseroles and quiet support when he felt incapable of surviving another day. He did not promise anything. He simply listened. Eleanor spoke in fragments, ashamed, apologetic, her voice shaking. She insisted she was fine, that she did not want trouble, that she would move along soon. Mark knew that was a lie born of pride and fear. He offered her a meal, just dinner, nothing more. Eleanor hesitated, her face burning with embarrassment. Accepting help felt like admitting failure. But hunger and cold won that battle. She agreed, expecting judgment, pity, or conditions. The house was modest but warm. The smell of soup filled the kitchen, and soft Christmas music played in the background. Eleanor sat stiffly at the table, unsure where to put her hands, her eyes darting around like she was waiting to be asked to leave. Mark's daughter chatted about school and decorations, treating Eleanor like a guest, not a burden. That simple normalcy cracked something open inside the widow. That night turned into another, and then another. The snow finally fell, blanketing the world in white, softening edges, making everything look new. Mark told himself it was temporary, just until Christmas passed, just until Eleanor found somewhere else to go. But days turned into weeks, and Eleanor slowly began to breathe again. The challenges were not small. Eleanor struggled with mobility, with shame, with the crushing belief that she was useless. She avoided mirrors. She apologized constantly. She offered to leave every day, terrified of overstaying her welcome. Mark wrestled with doubt, with whispers from neighbors, with the fear that he was making a mistake. His daughter faced questions at school, some kind, some cruel. But change does not come from comfort. It comes from patience. Eleanor began helping in small ways, folding laundry, telling stories, baking cookies from memory. She laughed for the first time in years when Mark's daughter insisted on decorating cookies with too much icing. That laugh sounded rusty, unused, but real. Slowly, Eleanor started walking more, encouraged gently, never pushed. She began caring about her appearance again, brushing her hair, choosing clothes that fit instead of hiding. Mark helped her apply for assistance, for medical care, for counseling. None of it was easy. Progress came in inches, not miles. Christmas approached, and the house filled with something Mark had not felt since his wife died. Hope. Not the loud, glittery kind sold in stores, but the quiet kind that grows when people show up for each other. On Christmas Eve, Eleanor sat by the tree, tears streaming down her face as she watched Mark's daughter place an ornament shaped like a book on a branch. It was meant for her, a symbol of who she had been and who she still could be. Eleanor realized then that she had not been saved by charity, but by being seen. Before the story ends, if this journey is touching your heart, please pause for a moment, like the video, share it, and subscribe. And please comment below with one word that describes how this story makes you feel. Your engagement helps spread kindness further than you know. Eleanor did not magically lose weight or erase her pain. Healing is not a montage, but she gained something far more important: dignity, purpose, family. She began volunteering at the local library again, slowly, carefully. Children remembered her warmth, even if they did not know her past. Mark learned that love does not replace loss, but it expands the heart so the loss hurts less. His daughter learned that one question, asked with sincerity, can change a life. On Christmas morning, snow fell softly outside as they sat together, not as saviors and saved, but as people who chose each. Eleanor looked around the room, at the simple gifts, the mismatched decorations, the child's laughter, and for the first time in years, she felt like she was home. Just before the ending, please leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and whether you believe small acts of kindness can still change the world. If this story moved you, if it made you reflect, hope, or feel something deep inside, please engage with the video. Your support keeps stories of humanity alive, reminding us all that sometimes the greatest miracles begin with a child's question and a heart willing to listen.